Let's talk Ryan Garcia and the enhanced games. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to On Me Ed Son. I hope you're well. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. So, Ryan Garcia, we know that he's just been banned, you naughty boy, for a year for taking performance enhancing drugs, Ostarine. It was in his system. It wasn't my fault. They're out to get me. It's all a conspiracy. Look, here's the tainted sample. It's all nonsense, right? The New York Boxing Commission, Athletic Commission, they've banned him for a year, right? So he's got a boxing ban. Well, maybe fights once a year, twice a year at best. So therefore, it's no real problem, right? Lots of people have talked about this already, so I'm not really going to go into a deep dive on this. He should have got a lot more, minimum 2, maybe even 4. But where he has saved himself a little bit, in my opinion, is that he's got onto the case and responding to the failed drug test quite quickly. He's provided his samples quite quickly. He's kind of explained himself with his lawyers quite quickly. So the powers that be have been able to say, look, okay, fine, you've explained yourself, but it's still not good enough. Look, here it is. It's, we've gone through the legal process. We've gone through the interrogation process. This is what it is. You got a tainted sample. Yes, no, we'll take that. That's what it is. But you're still being banned for a year. Okay, great. Now, people are asking, well, if Ryan Garcia only gets banned for a year, why is this whole spectacle with Conor Benn taking so long? I think it's a different process, and also think the way Conor Benn has also kind of responded to this and denied it, and all the whole thing. This is why it's taken so long. They've got into a he said, she said, and a tug of war over kind of position, really. And this is why it's taken so long. If Conor Benn at the very start said, yeah, look, this is what it is. This is what I think it could be. Not really sure. They would have said, right, it's in your system. Therefore, there's a 2-year ban or a 1-year ban or whatever. People would have said, okay, fine, fair enough. He didn't do it on purpose. It is what it is. That's what I believe it is. It's not my fault, but I take it on the chin. It would have been done and dusted by now. That's why it's taken so long with Conor Benn, because they basically contested it the whole way, and it's dragged it out for so long. Ryan Garcia didn't. Okay, so that's why they're both enhanced, let's say. Now, we saw the devastating effect of somebody who was enhanced, but not only enhanced, but also abused the process of getting down to weight, draining yourself down to weight, and then fighting at a much healthier weight with your opponent. Now, you could argue this, and I've always thought this as well. This rehydration is complete nonsense. The way you should do it, I think they do this in the UFC. I'm not 100% sure on how close it has to be in the UFC. But when you enter the ring, that's the weight you should be, within a margin, let's say 10, 20%. That's what you should be. So if you're in at a 140, 147, whatever it is, right, you have to be at that weight. That's what you're in at. You enter the ring, you go on a set of scales, and you go in. But we know that a lot of fighters, they balloon up when they rehydrate, especially with no rehydration clauses. They just get up because they know the weight is going to be a lot more. So Ryan Garcia didn't drain himself all the way down. He was 3.2 pounds heavier, and you think, well, that's not a big deal. The thing is, he hasn't drained himself. So when he balloons back up, he's in a much healthier position. He's a bigger, stronger. He doesn't feel as depleted. Devin Haney obviously does. Add the Ostarine in his system. Now, whether it's beneficial or not, it's something that's in your system that shouldn't be there. You have as an athlete, you have direct responsibility, absolute responsibility to know what's in your body. Ryan Garcia didn't. He was abusing this system, and everyone thought, oh, wow, this is amazing. He's tricked the world. He's fought a fantastic fight. And it was a great fight to watch, don't get me wrong. And it, really beat up Devin Haney. But now we know, actually, this is wrong. This is wrong. He was enhanced. And he was enhanced not only by weight, by his strength, by abusing the system so he didn't drain himself, didn't make weight, but also by this Ostarine. So therefore, he cheated, and he threatened the life of his opponent because he was so much more enhanced. He only got a year. For me, he should have got minimum 2. It should have been 4. In fact, I would have really gone to town and say, no, let's go 5 or 6 years. Because it wasn't just the PED, it was the whole process. The way he just came in overweight, abused the system, abused his opponent, and seriously hurt his opponent. Fair play to Devin Haney. He went down repeatedly, but he stood the test of time. He, showed great resilience. He showed himself to be a great fighter to be in there. But he got completely beaten up. Now, okay, the fight has been annulled. They're trying to wipe the records of the fight. They're trying to wipe the footage of the fight and all this kind of stuff. It happened. Everybody knew it happened. So, you can do what you want. Devin Haney, we all know that you got seriously beat up. But the point is, we know he cheated. So nobody is looking at you really badly now to say, oh, God, you lost there. No, you lost, but it was unfair. That's not right. If we're talking about boxing, this is the way it is. That's why you have boxing weight classes, okay? Because we always know that the bigger guy is usually always going to win over a smaller guy. In street fighting, let's say, in just general power fighting, right? That's why you have weight classes. Weight classes are for a reason. We know that, right? In years gone by, in ancient times, why would the king's champion or the queen's champion always be the biggest oaf in the army? Because he'd always win, right? He'd always be the one who's the most power and would be the hardest to get down. It was only until the invention of the gun, the great equalizer. Okay, that was supposed to be a gun. The great equalizer, that meant that it doesn't matter how big you are, how strong you are, a smaller guy can kill a bigger guy. The great equalizer. That's what the gun was called, right? So now you've got a system where we've kind of put all that aside. We're going to sporting battles on fair play, a level playing field. Then Ryan Garcia has enhanced himself in more ways than one. Then all of a sudden, you've really beaten somebody else. And it could have been a lot worse. It could have gone a lot worse. It's dangerous enough as it is. And then you've just completely abused that. So for me, you should have got a lot more. But this brings me on to my next point. Okay, there is a almost like a kind of a feeling out there that, so what, he was enhanced? So what? So what, people are taking performance-enhancing drugs? There's lots of people out there saying, look, loads of athletes are taking it and they're going undetected. They're not even admitting to it. I think some stat came out that only 45% of athletes, or 45% of athletes, past athletes, admitted to taking PEDs. So that means that there's so much more. We know it's rife in other sports. Tour de France, for example, which is starting today, of course. There's been a history of it. In other sports, it's been rife. And we know that in boxing, it can be an issue as well. So, especially at the lower levels. We know this happens. And in other sports, it happens as well. So why it's no big deal, it is what it is if everybody's on it. But the point is, you're not supposed to be on it. They're supposed to be clean sports. It's about natural human ability against another natural human ability. And when you start cheating or going against the rules, that's what makes it really difficult. Now, in combat sports, as you know, it's an extra issue because you're trying to hit the other guy or girl. You can cause serious damage. So performance-enhancing drugs may make your performance better in executing your punches, let's say, make you fitter, make you stronger, powers of recovery, all this kind of stuff, right? But you're still getting hit in the face. So if you're getting hit in the face harder than you normally would, then you end up like Devin Haney, right? So you're going to be hurt a lot more. So PEDs don't really protect your skull, don't protect your brain from extra impacts. That's the point here. So there is an outfit out there who are recognizing that there are lots of people, lots of sportsmen and women out there of lots of disciplines who are on performance enhancing drugs. Right. So they're saying, well, the Olympics, everybody gets banned and everything. So what we want to do is match up technology and science with human ability. Put PEDs, put enhanced drugs under medical control and see how enhanced, how great a human being can be. So they plan to have an enhanced Olympic Games or enhanced games, and they plan to try and do it by 2025. And they're gathering momentum. This is all out the United States, right? They're gathering momentum, they're gathering funding. In fact, a lot of sports companies, sportswear companies, are trying to get onto the bandwagon with them, like Nike and all these kind of big companies, right? I don't know if it's them specifically, but lots of big names are trying to get involved with them because they want to see the best human being with the best technology, whatever it is, to see if they're wearing our logo, they are the most best human being, right? So this is great. This is fine if you agree with PEDs. I don't, but if you do, that's fine for something like athletics, for swimming, right? I think so far they got 5 sports. They got athletics, they got swimming. I can't remember. There's a couple of other sports as well. But one of the sports that they have, in terms of the umbrella heading, as it were, is combat sports. In combat sports, they want MMA and they want boxing, right? 2 combat sports so far by 2025. So you're going to have enhanced fighters jumping into this system, knocking 7 shades of shit out of each other, and you're going to tell me that you're not going to have serious injuries or potentially even deaths? This is nonsense. So this is where the whole enhanced thing breaks down. You can produce better fighters, you can produce stronger fighters, but does not mean that those fighters will be able to withstand that punishment. And this is the problem with enhanced drugs or performance enhancing drugs. It doesn't make you more resilient. Now, if we're talking about a 100-meter dash, or a 50-meter swim, or I don't know, a high jump or something like that, okay, you're not actually hurting anybody else. You're just having a performance of human ability, right? Or a comparison of human ability. That's a different conversation. I can see where you're at. I don't agree with it because I think it's unnatural. But if you want the best of human achievement, I can see that there is a place for it. And look, sports companies and sportswear companies, they can see it as well. They're jumping on the bandwagon here, and I can see it. And they've already got millions and millions of funding for it to produce these games. The key thing is trying to get athletes in on it to join over, because once they've joined over, they can't go back into the Olympic movement. They can't go back into normal sports. They have to sacrifice their career to jump onto this, right? So that's probably going to be the big stumbling block. How many people are they going to be able to get involved in this? I don't think. Or how many top quality people are they going to be able to get into this? I'm not sure they will. But when it comes to combat sports, you're hitting somebody else. It's about your strength over somebody else. It's about your ability to hit somebody over their ability to hit you. Now, that's the same for natural, right? But at least it's natural against natural. We know that it's within the realms of a human being. It's not an enhanced human being. It's not another enhanced human being. The only way that you're going to be able to allow this is to wear some kind of head protection. But even then, that's not really going to change much either. So when the likes of Ryan Garcia only get a year for performance enhancing drugs, when the likes of Conor Ben, it's taken, nearly 2 years now, and he's still fighting his case, really. When other athletes in the past, other boxers have failed their tests, the net result here, it's not necessarily that they failed a test. It's the potential damage that they could cause on their opponent. And no more so have we seen this when Ryan Garcia against Devin Haney. Devin Haney, in my opinion, was lucky to get out of there with the damage that he did sustain. It could have been a lot worse for him. Ryan Garcia is unashamed. He doesn't care. And I think there's obviously some issues going on there with him as well. So not only for the PEDs, but also for the way he approached the fight, I think he should have been banned for a minimum 4 years, maybe even 6 years. It would have told the boxing world, boxers, combat fighters, the world over, we're not standing for this. You're not doing this in our sport. It's not happening. They didn't take a strong stance, and that's the problem. In boxing as a whole, they haven't taken a strong enough stance against this. So whilst there might be an undercurrent of people, even fans out there saying, oh, it's performance enhancing drugs, it doesn't make a difference. So what? Who cares? Who cares? He still whipped his ass. The thing is, you're not on the receiving end of that. And when you see injuries, like many people have, in real life, right, in everyday life, you see how fragile the human body is, can be. Then all of a sudden you're expecting somebody to go into a ring, into an octagon, and fight somebody who is enhanced. Then you're just opening up that fighter to, well, potentially life-changing injuries or even death on a regular basis. What? Are we taking this sport way back to gladiatorial times where, hey, they leave their life in the ring? No, that's not the way it should be. So this is where we needed to have a cultural check on what we think about fighters, about boxers, about performance enhancing drugs, but also about an enhanced games. Do we think this would be a good thing? I can see it from a non-combative kind of aspect. But in combat sports, no, I don't see this at all. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. But the enhanced games, they could be coming 2025, latter end of 2025. They could be coming, and it could include combat sports. I definitely don't think this is a good idea. I think it's a terrible idea. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. But Ryan Garcia, for me, he can just do one as well. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. And I will catch you again on another video coming very soon. Bye now.